Red Bull and Max Verstappen have won the last 2 races. We at Mercedes need to turn that around and return to winning ways in Monza. Hello folks, welcome back to AHGP, welcome back to F1 Manager, where I'm managing Mercedes, and we are on the precipice of the Italian Grand Prix. Now, if you remember back to the last episode, we had a factory fire which prevented us finishing off the design of new front wing and manufacturing a rear wing in time for Zandvoort. I'm pleased to say that process has started. We're also designing a new chassis, and a new underfloor is about to be completed in design. Here's the front wing and rear wing being manufactured, but there's only one of each available for this weekend's race. So what I've done, considering the rear wing gives extra DRS effectiveness, I've given it to Lewis Hamilton, and because the front wing gives us better medium and high speed and dirty air tolerance, I've given that to George Russell. So we've got a bit of a split on the new parts, and then they'll just sort of realign for the next round in Baku, which comes in a couple of weeks' time. I have moved Baku to the slot that it's in for the 2024 season, and I don't know what I'm going to do in terms of plans for 2024 or 2025 even, season 3. Let me know what you'd like to see in terms of the calendar. Would you like a different opening race? Would you like us to do more sprints? Would you like less races so I can reduce the calendar to maybe just 20 races? Bin off a few that maybe aren't so good. If we wanted to, I could do 20 races of Silverstone, or if you wanted to torture me, it's 20 races of Monaco. So that's possible with the database editor that I've got. Let me know your thoughts on the calendar for season 3 and sort of where you want the sprints to be, and just general thoughts really, and where we can take this save. And I think that'll do for now. I've set the race targets. I think everything is okay for the cars. Standings wise, just to catch you up, we are 38 points behind Red Bull. George Russell is now 43 points behind Max Verstappen, and Lewis Hamilton is back on 216 points. But a big win with Verstappen maybe failing to score, crashing out, or just not scoring very many points changes the whole picture. And hopefully that's what happens this weekend in Italy. So I'm going to go through practice. I'll see you in qualifying, and then we'll do a motor race. Safely into Q3 with just 2 runs basically, but they were push runs, so we've done 2 flying laps in each session. Ferrari look fast again. Leclerc topping Q2. I believe Sainz was fastest in Q1. Verstappen not as pacey as normal, 0.3 off the pace. Hamilton also 0.3 off the pace, but he was quicker in the first session where he got the slipstream from George Russell. Slipstream very powerful in Monza, you won't be surprised to know. My plan for Q3 is to do a single flying lap, get the cars back in, fueled up and put new tyres on, then do the push so the tyres are up to temperature essentially on that second lap. Hopefully no traffic, hopefully slipstreams. So let's go and see if it works basically. Let's see what the lap times are like. Verstappen's going to get in the way here. I think he might have just got out of the way nicely. Hamilton with a purple first sector and a purple middle sector. I believe Hamilton's about to smash this out the park. Russell does a 19.9. Perez doesn't beat it. Hamilton 3.5 tenths quicker. That's the power of the slipstream. All purples for Lewis Hamilton. Things you love to see at Mercedes. It's a purple middle sector. There is traffic in the final sector for Verstappen, who goes 9th. He lost a huge amount of time in the final sector. Alright, here we go. Final lap of qualifying. Is Russell going to get the flag? He just makes it across the line. Right. This is it. Perez is third. Alonso has just set the fastest first sector. Has he got a slipstream? I think he has. Hamilton doesn't improve. Russell with a personal best in the first sector. We need a big middle sector here from Lewis Hamilton. DRS opens up. Sainz with the fastest middle sector. Verstappen fastest in the middle sector. Russell with 2 greens. Hamilton an improvement in the middle sector. Sainz has gone fastest for Ferrari. What does Verstappen do? He goes fastest. Hamilton only 4th. Russell only 5th. It didn't work out. Ferrari have beaten us to it today. And Verstappen has put it on pole. I think all that traffic on his first lap really hurt him. But look at that. He was 4 tenths quicker in Q3. A 19.3. Did anyone do a 19.3 anywhere else? No. Yeah, so he's done the fastest lap of the day and taken pole position. So a big effort needed in the race to stop Verstappen further extending his championship lead. Race day in Monza. And the first thing to note is potential moderate rain. So let's see where that's expected to drop. Well, we're going to get some heavy rain, I think, at some point. Yeah, and then it's going to possibly dry up towards the end. So I'm going to do strategy and then I'll come back to you. Right, strategy is set. Looks like best bet is to go mediums to start, and that'll get you to the rain period. Bear in mind we've got a fresh set of softs to use, which we'll utilise in this period sort of around that 45 when it dries up. So we'll keep them up our sleeve to be really fast at the end and hopefully make up some ground. I've not underfueled hugely because obviously this is a track where you're pushing quite hard a lot of the time, so I don't want to have to try and recover too much. That said, we will push from the start. I think that's everything we need to do. We've got very high and very high confidence, so a few confidence boosts for the stats. I think we're all set to go. Let's do a motor race. There's a Ferrari on the front row and the Tifosi are hopeful. They're 2nd and 3rd on the grid. Can they beat Red Bull? The lights are out, the race is on. They weren't held for long. Verstappen has got a good getaway and Russell's actually coming down the outside of Hamilton here to begin with. Hamilton down the inside. I'm just going to let them battle it out through the first chicane. The Ferraris are side by side. Hamilton just hold position here. We don't need to be crashing into each other on lap 1. Verstappen holds the lead then. Russell and Hamilton 2nd and 4th and 5th. I'm used to them being 2nd and 3rd so often behind Verstappen, or at least around him. Ferrari quick enough though this weekend. Where is Perez? He had a grid penalty. He's 14th. And the Aston Martins are quick as well. So let's keep an eye on, not Verstappen, on our drivers. It looks like Russell fancies a run at Sainz here. Oh no, sorry, that's Leclerc. And we're going to neutral on the deployment. And George Russell has passed Charles Leclerc. Let's Hamilton. We need to get you past Leclerc, please. Russell has closed the gap. Leclerc didn't get DRS, so that's made this move even easier for Lewis Hamilton. We will now balance and we'll go aggressive on the tyres. We'll get the tyres under control and their temperatures. We've got a yellow flag. It's gone. Okay, we need to pick up the pace now with Lewis and close down. Russell's actually gone past Sainz for 2nd. He is now chasing Verstappen for the lead of this race. That I missed. Hamilton just hanging on behind, or in front of Leclerc. Russell having to defend Sainz. It's all happening here. And hopefully we can make this a 5-way scrap for the lead at some point. Oh, yellow flag. Perez is tumbling down the order. What's going on here? Crash involving multiple cars. Sergio Perez could be involved in this. Looks like he is, because that's a Haas. And oh, they just sort of got glued together. Kevin Magnussen didn't mince his words. Love it. George Russell is taking the lead of the Italian Grand Prix as Leclerc goes past Hamilton. But George Russell takes position 1 away from Max Verstappen. This is vital in their fight in the World Championship, and it's important for George to stay in touch and keep ahead of Lewis, because at some point we'll have to then switch our focus to backing George for the title. At the moment we're not favouring one driver over another if we can help it, directly. What we will do is top up the battery while we are in the chain of traffic. In fact, we're in the lead still with George, so might even conserve a bit while I'm here and just keep everything under control. Something I did forget to look at the beginning of the race was the tyres that everyone was running. And bad news for Lewis Hamilton is the Ferraris are both on hards, so we need to get a shuffle on here. High aggression overtakes, please, Lewis, and deploy, because these Ferraris are going to hold us up. Sainz is doing a great job in terms of hanging with the two in the lead, which is now currently Russell, Verstappen, Sainz. Hamilton has just passed Leclerc. We need to crack on and get him closer to this lead battle. So he picks up DRS again, and then we can protect ourselves that way from Leclerc, who's not got the pace on the hards. Battery empty. We need to close the gap on Sainz, and look at the fight for the lead here. Just look at that. 3 different cars all absolutely together, and Hamilton is bringing Leclerc along for the ride with him. Interestingly, the rain window seems to be edging back a little bit, so Hamilton was going to be pitting earlier, but I think he's going to need to extend his stint on the slicks. They have now, that's Leclerc and Hamilton, closed back up to the drivers ahead of them. So what I'm going to get Lewis to do is just go standard on his tyres and look after them, and also conserve fuel. We will just play the long game here, because every time we get ahead of Leclerc we're just going to get re-overtaken. So as long as we're in this train with DRS, then we can just sort of manage everything and get to the rain window and try and undercut Ferrari then. If we can get ahead of them with Hamilton, then we can get Russell ahead of Verstappen, who is right on his gearbox there. And it's now Russell, Sainz, Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton, the top 5. We've left the Aston Martins in our wake. Stroll doing a great job in holding everybody up. I think Sainz wants to get on with things here. He feels like taking the lead, and Ferrari are going to lead the Italian Grand Prix. That's fine. We'll just sit in their wheel tracks and have ourselves some DRS, although Sainz looks like he's just clearing off here. He won't clear off enough to escape DRS. We need to keep pushing with Hamilton, because he's on the edge of falling out DRS range. Alright, this is Hamilton's optimal pit stop lap. He's now 2 seconds behind that lead fight, which isn't ideal. Russell retaking the lead. The rain has started, but it's coming in slowly. So we've just got to hang tight at the moment. Russell takes the lead. So we do have a car in the pit lane. It's Zhou Guanyu, who is on a set of inters. But it's still much too early, I think, for inters. Hamilton has started to close the gap, but has approached the perilous puncture territory. Verstappen has looked after his tyres much better than we have. A bit more natural pace in his car. So hopefully we don't get a puncture, although we've got some heavy rain coming soon. So actually what I'm going to do is bring Hamilton in now. He might just get a bit of undercut, because it is starting to rain a bit heavier. And then Russell, bring him in on the following lap. He reports the tyres are gone, but he is leading the race. So Hamilton might just hit that 0.8 margin as he leaves the pit lane. Russell losing the lead, but that's fine. So Hamilton, we need to... Yeah, they're all in now. They're all coming in. So that was the lap to do it. This is the lap to do it. Hamilton exits the pit lane in 10th position. So they'll all be in. In fact, Leclerc has stayed out. The problem here is Verstappen we might just get held for all three, or both of them. We have a slightly slower stop, and that is exactly what's happened. We have had to be held for Verstappen, who is now going to get the lead because of pit lane position. Where's Hamilton? Coming out of the Parabolica. And actually he's not lost too much ground. He's just behind Russell, so not too bad. Carlos Sainz is having a good race. He has closed down race leader Verstappen, left his teammate behind to the tune of about 3 seconds. We're a couple of seconds further back from Leclerc. We haven't really got the same sort of race pace as those two, or those three in front. Lap times, we're similarly matched to Leclerc, who's done a 27.6. Sainz is really pressing on. Verstappen, the fastest man of the top 5, at least at the moment. Yeah, I mean, no one else is in the only Alonso is in the 27s. So we need to continue pushing. Russell isn't overheating his tyres, which is good, but he's not exactly closing up. So we're going to push on the fuel for a little bit and see if we can do that. We do need to do something to change our fortunes in this race. It's now 3 millimeters of rain or water on the track. Leclerc has cleared off to join the fight at the front. We need to do the same, but at the moment we're not really able to. The guys ahead have used a little bit more tyres, so that's why I'm doing this. Hamilton, obviously because he went on the tyres, we made the switch earlier, is slightly worse for wear. But hopefully Russell can close the gap. But he's not. He's now 3 seconds behind. We were half a second quicker than Sainz, but we were 7/10 or 2/10 slower than Leclerc, which isn't helpful really. The dry period is approaching, so the switch to slicks won't be far away. In fact, what I'll do while I'm here, if I can find the right screen, is edit the strategy, add a new stint, so new set of softs around lap 44, 45, and we'll just attack on them because we can. So we'll do that with George, and I mean, because they're absolutely together, it's going to be a pain in the bum to box them at the same time. So maybe Lewis, we'll just do the same lap, and maybe we bring them in, we'll play it by ear on that one. Russell is starting to close the gap to Leclerc because we've taken avoid high risk curves off. Hamilton can probably also now attack because his tyre temperatures are okay. So let's see if we can close these pesky Ferraris down. Alright, good news, we have closed down the Ferraris. Bad news, tyres are getting hot, so we'll just back off on the aggression on them. The track is also drying, so let's keep a close eye on that, because if we can make the change at the right moment, we could gain a huge amount of time, because we are only 2.5 seconds, well, less than 3 seconds off the lead. So a well-timed undercut, especially from Hamilton's perspective, could give him the lead of the race. We're at our optimal pit stop lap. Can we get through? Here comes George Russell, the Russell shuffle. Tyres are getting too hot, don't care. We're going through for 3rd position. And Hamilton is also trying to get to the Ferrari. Leclerc dropping back a bit. I think there was a bit of traffic in our way. The track is not drying out as quickly as hoped, but we are not far away from the track being declared dry. As Hamilton, is he going through? There was side by side through Ascari. Russell now just 0.6 behind Sainz and absolutely flying. Hamilton, let's get you driving in clean air, mate. Go for the overtake. Here he goes. Lewis Hamilton sending it on Charles Leclerc, taking what will be 4th position. And Russell Also having a look at an overtake. Here he comes. Let's jump on board. He's not close enough. We are almost at a dry circuit. Russell. Sainz boxes. Sainz is in. So we are going to need to respond on this lap and absolutely now.
Pretty quick, I'll say. Not far away from the slicks.
Sainz might get a bit of an undercut on us here. What's the gap between Hamilton and Russell? It's 1.5 seconds, and Russell's actually pressing on to catch Verstappen. What was the camera looking at there? Russell actually going for it here. They'll both be in. So here we go. Hamilton's going to lose out here, sadly, because they're just all together. We have jumped Verstappen. He's had a pit stop issue. And Russell, will he lead the race? He will. George Russell leads the race. Go, George. Hamilton's got fuel to push. He's dropped to 5th. Let's deploy. He's got 3 or 4 laps really to go for this. Russell just needs to clear off here. Hamilton will have DRS here. He's just set the fastest middle and final sectors of anybody. Is he going to send it on Leclerc again? He's not close enough this time. But he's absolutely going for it. And so he should. He's driving in clean air. He's looking for a way through everywhere he tries. Let's jump on board. Norris with the fastest lap. Don't think we haven't got any battery left, so we probably need to watch out for that. Fuel is now marginal.
Just introduce a little bit of lift and coast.
Take the driving clean air off and really go for this. Verstappen has got into second place, but is 3 seconds behind George Russell, who leads the race. Russell is clearing off. This is fantastic news. We've struggled to... Well, we led much of the early phase, but then the switch to Inters didn't help us. Or it didn't fall our way. But now we have played a blinder. And I think Hamilton coming in held Verstappen long enough for... and Sainz long enough for Russell to get out. Hamilton's actually not got DRS here. We need to push with the fuel. Leclerc is pulling away from us. Verstappen and Leclerc will both have DRS. But Russell in the lead and going great guns. Sainz now in second. And Hamilton actually falling behind because his tyres are probably getting a bit too hot. This could be the moment that Hamilton realistically can't win the championship anymore. We'll go attacking on the tyres, driving clean air. We're close enough here. Not quite, but maybe into the parabolica. In fact, we will go into the parabolica and take the position away from Charles Leclerc. George Russell has actually started the final lap.
You are the fastest man on track.
Hamilton sets the fastest lap. He's got DRS. But he's not going to be close enough to catch Sainz and Verstappen. We'll push with the fuel. The whole race has hinged on that late switch back to slicks. Sadly for Hamilton, he was the sacrificial lamb, but it's going to get us a race win. We're going to have to conserve the fuel here. We don't want to miss out like we have done before. Please recover that fuel. Please, thank you. George Russell wins the race. I'll cut to it there. Hamilton secures 4th. Wonderful stuff. George Russell wins the Italian Grand Prix. Let's watch the replay because we did miss it. Here he comes, following a Haas across the line. George Russell wins his 4th race of the season. Crucially, Carlos Sainz is second. which means he takes 10 points out of Verstappen's lead. It cuts to 33 points, the championship lead. Lewis Hamilton is stuck on the pitch straight, out of fuel. He beat Leclerc by almost 0.4 of a second. But yeah, that is a fantastic result. Oh, that was a roller coaster ride. That's the pick-me-up we needed after a disappointing result in Zandvoort. I say second was disappointing. We want to be winning races like today. So George Russell, well done. The Russell Shuffle all the way to P1. And he's parked up in front of Ferrari to celebrate. I mean, I don't know if that's just where he's been told to park or if he's done it on purpose, but the celebrations are being had for the first time since Hungary. George Russell gets to take top spot on that famous podium in Monza. There it goes, the trophy. The winner is George Russell. Carlos Sainz doing us a solid by beating Max Verstappen, who couldn't get his champagne to pop. And George Russell having a whale of a time spraying his team member with the champagne. Celebrations again at Mercedes. Russell rises from 5th to 1st. Carlos Sainz held on to his 2nd place where he started. Hamilton gets the bonus point for the fastest lap, finishing the race where he started. Unfortunately, we just didn't make the progress with him early on that Russell did. And that changed the game because Russell was ahead and he got the benefit of the second Mercedes blocking everyone basically. And I think when Leclerc came in as well, maybe blocked Verstappen a bit too. So there's the situation in the Drivers' Championship. The gap is 33 points. Hamilton is 30 points behind Russell, so he's 63 behind Verstappen. I mean, it's not unassailable with a lot of races to go, but Hamilton needs to take engine penalties in the next round. And Verstappen does keep winning, so not looking good for Lewis Hamilton. But he's got a couple more years left on his contract, so there'll be another chance, I am sure. We'll keep developing the car to do that. Maybe we start looking at supporting George a little bit more, especially when he's in a position to win. But we don't want to take winning opportunities away from Lewis either. We'll let it play out and then we'll have to start making decisions with who we support. We take a big bite out of the Red Bull lead in the Constructors, so that gap is now 19 points. Really, really close battle, and that's thanks to Sergio Perez only finishing 8th after a grid penalty. He only finished 7th in Zandvoort, so Perez really hurting Red Bull, it would seem, because he's just not delivering, and the Mercedes drivers are. Red Bull have 8 wins. They've all come from Verstappen, and we've got 7, which is split 4 and 3 across our drivers. So yeah, we're very much on the case in the Constructors' Championship, but because we've got 2 drivers fighting almost each other sometimes, we're not quite able to make the same progress against Verstappen. But there's still lots of races to go. We can still absolutely win the World Championship. So if you want to be on board for what is going to be one heck of a ride to the end of this season and see if we can clinch a double championship at Mercedes, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends if you think they'd enjoy it, and just make sure you're here because it's here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'll see you for the next race in Baku. You're the best fans. It's goodbye for now.